Right, the phone's set up on a tripod here to record my monitor. Once you get set up on with all the computer system, which I showed in a previous bit of video, you will launch to the desktop screen on your computer, assuming you've obviously configured Windows and things like that. So if I'm going to quickly go over a brief overview and then go into how to install the drivers and how to install a game. So if we look down here, we have our Windows toolbar, our Windows search bar. This is all Windows 10. Down here is where you can access a lot of your drivers and things like that allow you to update them or like get into the settings and things like that. So if I launch, say, the Radeon drivers, it's currently not wanting to launch for some reason. But if we come into here, you can get to the audio device manager. This allows you to access which device you're using to record, your sounds, your playback device, so you want your speakers, for instance. That's all fine. But if we want to access the drivers, the easiest way is to come over to the control panel. If you go to hardware and sound, let's open this up full, you can come up to here and go to device manager. Now you will need user permissions, Windows permissions to access this. If you come into the device manager, as you can see up here, we have all of our computing devices. If I want to give you an example of one to update, let's come over to the microphone ones, because I had to do this morning to get my microphone working. So I actually had to uninstall the driver, which you can do by coming to the driver, right clicking, and you uninstall the device, that one, this all the drivers. Then when you re-plug in the headset, it will come up in the device manager, which will come up here. It will come up in the sound driver, which you then have to select that it's a microphone when you plug it in and select that it's a speaker when you plug it in, and that will configure it to, so once you select it's a speaker, it will send all the sound from the computer to the headset, and once you select that it's a mic, anything you say will relay that information into the computer. But anyway, if you wish to update the driver, you just simply right click over here, update driver. You can either browse your computer for the driver here, and that allows you to browse, and you can just update the driver manually if you have your own drivers. Or the easiest thing is to automatically search the driver. This will get the best driver for Windows, and it should say for us that we already have the most up-to-date driver, but if it didn't, it would say that you need this driver. Then you can just go and simply install it from there. But if we just give it a second, it should showcase that for us. There we go, yeah, the best drivers are already installed, so you can search for updated drivers on Windows Update or leave that there because we have the best drivers installed. Again, you can do this with anything. You can do it with the USB ports if you need drivers there. You can do it with the computer system. You can absolutely update drivers for anything in here. Keyboard drivers, mouse, monitors, network adapters, anything. So that's where you go to update drivers for the computer system if you wish to. If you want to update any software on your system, it'll do that most of the time automatically, but you can just go into the software and update it. So I don't know, maybe here, if I open up SteelSeries 1, I can check for updates in here. But normally you just need to go and download the software updates yourself. But like here I can sync. But yeah, that's basically how you update drivers. It's quite simple. It doesn't take a lot of effort, but I mean, if you don't have any idea what you're doing on a computer system, then you might not know how to update drivers like that. So if we come over to if we move on to installing a game, so to install a game, we're going to use our game software, which I use on my computer system, which is Steam. This is literally all I use for my games. I mean, there's other systems like Origin, and you can install systems directly via disk, but that normally involves going through Steam or something. Anyway, like when you install Tomb Raider, for instance, you have to go through Steam anyway. So if we launch Steam, or not, because it's bugged for some reason. Steam sometimes bugs. If we bring up the task manager and close Steam, Sometimes Steam will bug if it's got an instance of it running and it didn't update properly, but then now that we've closed that instance with Task Manager, we can run Steam. So if we run Steam, it updates all the time on install. That's just checking for regular software updates. See, that's an example of where you wouldn't need to go and update the software because it'll do it automatically. It always checks for updates as soon as it launches. But anyway, if we launch up Steam here, you'll be greeted by the store on the home page. If we come over to our library here, we can access our games. We've got several games here we haven't got installed. So all these ones in white are all the games we have installed. But say we want to install a game that we have not got installed. What's the game we might want to install? Let's go for a small game so I can quickly install it now. Let's go for Ace of Spades here. So once you buy the game or have it like in kind of access, like you have access to it on your system but you don't have it installed, you want to come to your library, you want to come to games, you can click on the game, it'll be grayed out, and then you click install. From here you can choose a directory and where you want to save it to. I'm just going to save it to my C drive where it automatically selects for purposes because I'm going to install this after this. This is only a small game, only 426 megabytes. We have loads of disk space available for that. It's going to take 1 minute 25. I'll literally show you how to install that. It'll create the local game files. That just creates a folder with all the game files in where you set it in the directory. Finish that. You come down to here, you've got a bar. It will show you it installing. Here's all the updates of games that automatically install. And if we have here, we can see the network speed that it is installing at. I don't think this is a complete accurate representation to my network speed. I don't think Steam is very good at showcasing network speed. But anyway, it will show you nonetheless how fast the game is installing. So that will take no time for us because we've got fast downloads. And if we want to play this game, we'll give it 2 seconds. Now I'm going to showcase you installing Ace of Spades, but that is not the game. I'm going to showcase setting up a multiplayer game because that will take a little bit of time to install. So I'm going to actually go on the game here where they have installed, but you would install this the exact same way you'd install Ace of Spades. You just literally set it installing. Steam will do it for you. If you wanted to install the game not using Steam, it's really simple. It just goes through Windows and it basically just does the same thing. But if I launch this game here, I'll quickly show you how to set up a multiplayer game world and get going, and yeah, and then we'll be about done with this quick tutorial on how to set up a game. So if we launch into Counter-Strike, we'll be greeted with the menu screen and we can quickly set up a multiplayer game. And I will show you my system being tested as well by playing the game. So you get greeted with the menu here. You have your options, you have your, this is just to watch previous game, you have your awards. If you want to come into the options and configure the game, here you can configure all of your settings. So you can configure controller if you wish to play there. So we can configure all the buttons, primary fire, everything. Keyboard and mouse, most common way to play. Here we can alter our mouse sensitivity, our zoom sensitivity, whether we want raw input on and off, mouse acceleration. Here's all our binds for our mouse. I just thought I'd show you briefly how to set up all your controls ready to game. Here you can set up all your video settings. This is important because you want to do it to your monitor unless you play differently. But here you can set it full screen, 1920 by 1080 resolution, 60:9 aspect rate, all that standard stuff. You can choose any aspect ratio you want, 4:3. Same with resolution. You can alter the brightness. Here you can choose all your qualities for your game, and that's basically it. That's how you edit all the video settings. And then again, audio settings, master volume, where you want the audio to come through, whether you want to hear people speaking. But if we come over to home and we go on to play with friends, this will set up an online lobby. We don't want to go offline with bots because that'd be. So we want to set up an online game. We can choose here. We can choose the map. This is irrelevant, but basically you do this in any game. let's not set up competitive. Let's just set up casual, or let's set up deathmatch. Everyone knows what deathmatch is, a song Call of Duty, everything. Let's set up a deathmatch on Dust 2. If you accept that, set it up in the lobby here. You can change the permissions here to whether you want to allow everyone to join. Let's just allow friends. Set that to that. Here you can chat if you wish to chat with people in the lobby. But if we play Go, we're setting up into an online game. Now, the game itself will add all the bots. You can use the console within the game to set up commands on bots and stuff like that, and I'll show you that quickly when we get in. That just is another way to set up an online game within Counter-Strike. But it's basically ready to play from the get-go. That's all you have to do. Go on and choose the map and choose the privacy settings, because all the game modes are already configured within the game. But I'll quickly show you this, quickly show testing that you can play the game, and then we'll be done with this. So now we're in the game. If we join the side here, you can see that the game is working. We can shoot, we can pull our knife out, we can jump, we can shoot, we can reload. And if you press the little dash key next to the 1, you can come into the console. So we can add, if you see now, there are bots in the game. If we want to get rid of those bots, we can simply type in the console command, bot_kick. All those bots are suddenly gone from our game. That's just the way you can set up the game. We can restart the game by typing in mp_restart1. That'll restart the game. If we want to add bots, we can type bot_quota and set the number of bots. So we want to set 10. Boom. And the game's set for 10 bots. And now we can play an online game with bots. If another player wishes, this game is online, so it means if another player wishes to join us, like one of my friends, they can, and we'll be in a private game lobby. If you ever wish to join a competitive game, there'll be games set up already like this. But that is how you set up a game and configure it for a multiplayer session.